What's happening, man? What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? What's going on? What's going on? It's your boy right here, Boom Bam, bro. This is going for the gusto. I'm back. Um, I'm here, man. To I really, really, really had it on my soul that I need to talk about this college football playoff, man, because it's a whole thing, right? Like everybody is. I've heard all the reactions. I want to give y'all my reaction. You know what I'm saying? For the pod, man. Shout out to the squad that couldn't be here, but I'm here, man. So let's really get into it. I got a light little side topic too. I'm gonna talk about after the fact, but let's really just get into this, right? So boom, the college football playoffs. Um, everybody has been asking me. They're like, "Yo, do you think Florida State got robbed?" In the grand scheme of it, maybe not so much. Um, as far as could they win, you want to have four teams in the college football playoff that could they win, they should be in, right? Like if you don't have a chance at winning, you shouldn't be in there. I know everybody keep bringing up the TCU Georgia thing. I think that's really just that really doesn't mean much. I mean that Georgia team was stacked. Yeah, they almost lost to Ohio State, but that Ohio State team was also stacked. TCU did beat Michigan, so they deserved to be there because they beat Michigan. You know what I'm saying? Michigan had won the Big 12. They did. The Big 10. So they had deserved to be there. But that happens in football. Sometimes you get blown out. I think people kind of taking that whole thing too far. Because TCU is not the same as a Texas or Oklahoma or somebody coming out of the Big 12. That's a whole different type of team. So you do got to kind of take that into account. But what I would say about the whole thing is that, in my thoughts, I think that the narrative of it's just the SEC, you should put somebody in because of that is kind of a mild point. Like the ACC versus the SEC this year, they're 6-4. They have a winning record against the SEC. We saw Florida State go to LSU and beat them down. Like it's not even like so to me that kind of doesn't mean anything. I think the main thing comes down to Florida State losing their quarterback, but you got to feel bad for all the other players on the team, right? Like, all right, the quarterback gets hurt. I understand that. That's a huge thing, right? You can't really play without the quarterback. That's the most important part. But you got to feel bad for like certain other players, right? Like like the Keon Coleman's of the world, the Jared versus, like those are all other top players that won't get to really show, really get to show like the best of them. I know a lot of people are saying when they play Georgia, then we'll really get to see. I kind of agree with that. Like when they play Georgia, we'll kind of see where they're at. Like I said, obviously they don't have their quarterback, so I don't expect them to score a lot of points. Um, but I do want to see defensively how they look. Like how do they stand up defensively against a Georgia? But you gotta feel bad in the grand scheme of it. They kind of did get robbed. They did go undefeated. I think it's still something said to going undefeated. I think that's still a thing um, that I kind of believe in. But overall, based on what the committee did, I think the four teams that can win it, those four teams are in the college football playoff. So meaning like I don't think Ohio State beats any of the other four teams in the college football playoff. I don't really think Georgia, just seeing them against Alabama, which was like their first real test this season, I don't think they beat any of the other four teams in. I don't see that. I don't even see Georgia being a team like Washington. And that's just, I know most people say, what's the SEC? Yeah, but man, we gotta throw that narrative away. We have to literally throw that away. It's not like that. It don't work like that anymore. Like at a point in time, yeah, they were dominant, this and that, but now you're seeing teams specifically schedule SEC teams to go beat them so that they can get a better ranking in the ranking. So um and I also think the college football playoff tried to be smart because they wanted Alabama to play Michigan because they were like, nah, we don't want Texas to play Michigan. We want Alabama because of the matchups. It seemed like a better matchup. right? Because you play a team like Washington that'll spread you out, but they believe the Bama Michigan matchup is it's going to be power versus power, like mono. We're going to see who's really better than who. You know what I'm saying? So, um, I'm interested for the college football playoff. I'm kind of hype about it, honestly. Them Texas boys got in there. I'm happy about that. But yeah, I just feel for the Florida State players, man. If you were playing on that team, you're like, we still went undefeated. After we lost our quarterback, we won all those games. Yeah, you didn't win in a dazzling fashion, but you won those games. And it's just hard when you see it from a player perspective to do that to the players because they went undefeated. You cannot take that away from them. They had an undefeated season, and you took the opportunity away from them to have an undefeated season and win the championship because like that is a very iconic thing to do. Like to be a part of a team that just went undefeated the whole season and they won the championship and everything. So I do feel for them about that. That's that sucks, but um I get it. They were going to force Alabama or Georgia to be in there because the college football playoff is. I mean, they're set like the way they rank stuff is messed up because you got listen, man, y'all gotta think about this. I mean, y'all let me know how y'all feel in the country. Y'all gotta really think about this. If they believe that one conference is better than the other conferences, the strength of schedule is already biased because you're playing those teams in that conference. What I mean by that, if you say the SEC is the best conference in football, you got teams like Missouri that get ranked way higher than they are as a team. Like they get to be, oh, look at Missouri, they number 9. We beat the number 9 overall team. Yeah, but Missouri should have never been 9 in the first place. You can't make the argument that Missouri gonna go in there and beat Oklahoma or beat Penn State. So how are they ranked above them at a certain point in the season? Is what I mean. That's what I'm saying. When people don't, you gotta put your thinking cap on and say, look at this. They're ranked that high because they're getting credit from just being in the SEC, not because of they beat anybody. Who did Missouri beat? Who did Ole Miss really beat to be ranked that high when they run into a Alabama or a Georgia? They just get ranked that high just because they don't look like a great team. Y'all can't tell me y'all watch Ole Miss this season and say, well, Ole Miss is a great team. You know what I'm saying? Like we watch teams like Georgia struggle against South Carolina. You know what I'm saying? Now, that's my school now. So like, we gotta do that. But still, come on, man. We got the college football playoff need to do a whole like a breakdown and build back up. Now I know all these teams switching conferences is gonna change a lot. Right? That's gonna make everything look totally different next year. So I'm excited about that actually too, because it's gonna really show, right? Like teams going out the conferences now when they play now they're gonna have to play each other. When they play each other, then we gonna get to sit back and look like, dang, that team could have they probably always could have beat them. Or that team is like, oh, they had no reason to be trying to mess with them. So like that's just kind of where I'm at on the whole college football playoff. I just want to give my thoughts. I know it sounds like I'm rambling a little bit, but my thoughts are all over the place about it. But I do think the 4 teams that are in it have the best chance of winning. Now I'm gonna say this: if Florida State had their quarterback, they no question they should have been in. Like what they quarterback, they should have been in. But I do think it's unfair for the college football playoff to try to judge a team by injuries because injuries isn't fair. Like you can't, like it's football. People gonna get hurt. It's just what they're trying to say is the right person got hurt at the wrong time. So that's that, man. So look, let me give y'all a little separate topic that I saw that I thought was super interesting, right? So this thing says, uh, what was the greatest Heisman class of all time? So what they did was they took a couple of Heisman classes and they took the winner, the runner up, and then the person that came in third based on rankings. So let me just let me just kind of go through it and tell y'all what the classes are. So they got the class with Herschel Walker, John Elway, and Eric Dickerson. Now that's a beastly of a class, right? They got Barry Sanders, Rodney Peete, and Troy Aikman. They got Charles Woodson, Peyton Manning, and Randy Moss. They got Reggie Bush, Vince Young, and Matt Leinart. And then they got Cam Newton, Andrew Luck, and LaMichael James. Now look, this is the thing about this, right? You, you gotta try to separate how great players were in the NFL from what they were in college. We gotta do that, right? John Elway, Eric Dickerson, and Herschel Walker were all amazing in college. Herschel Walker at the time might have been arguably the greatest college football player we have ever seen at that moment. And so him winning that Heisman was huge. When you get the Barry Sanders, Rodney Peete, I think Barry Sanders has the best Heisman running back year of any running back at Oklahoma State. In my mind, it wasn't close. Like nobody, as far as college now, we know how great Barry was in the NFL, right? Like Barry's arguably the greatest running back ever. But just in college, Barry was out of this world in college. Charles Woodson is the only defensive player to win the Heisman, so that's enough said within itself. Peyton Manning had a fantastic season at Tennessee that year, and then Randy Moss at Marshall was crazy. Like Randy Moss was his high. This for y'all that don't, man, y'all need to take some time. Go look at Randy Moss highlights at Marshall. Don't even look at his NFL highlights. Look at him at Marshall. Randy Moss hit the scene crazy. Reggie Bush, Vince Young, and Matt Leinart. Now, y'all, for y'all that know, I've been a Texas fan for a long time. All us Texas fans feel like Vince got robbed that year when they gave it to Reggie Bush. But you can't argue with Reggie Bush's production in college. Reggie was literally crazy in college. Like we gotta we gotta do that. And then Cam Newton, Andrew Luck, LaMichael James. LaMichael James had an amazing season that season. Andrew Luck was actually the front runner, but Stanford lost a couple of games. But we knew that Andrew Luck, man, like that, like Andrew, Andrew Luck's because Cam and Andrew Luck both went number one overall. You know what I'm saying? Like Andrew Luck was gonna go number one overall. You know what I'm saying? But that season Cam had is one of the greatest college football seasons ever. Cam brought an Auburn team from nowhere that nobody was even thinking about all the way to the national championship, and they won it. So I would say out of the people here, I'm gonna go with Charles Woodson, Peyton Manning, and Randy Moss because Charles was the only defensive player to win the Heisman. Peyton Manning, that season was like, oh, like you got to take him. And Randy Moss, the way he hit the scene at Marshall was kind of like something we never really seen before. And I'm not saying that because all those players are in the Hall of Fame, right? They ended up having great NFL careers, but I'm just college alone. The season that Charles Woodson had is hard to reciprocate as a defensive player. Like he played a couple of offensive snaps. He was a punt returner and all that. And so like that just adds to what he did as a player. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not gonna sleep on Reggie's, man. That season Reggie had was really, man, Reggie's stats, watching Reggie like reverse field back in college was just a sight to behold, man. It was one of them things that make you want to go to football practice and try it yourself and realize he got to be this great because we can't do it. You know what I'm saying? But man, Herschel Walker was a beast, bro. Herschel Walker was a beast. But I'm gonna go with Charles Woodson, Peyton Manning, and Randy Moss, man. I think that Heisman class was crazy. That was out of control. So yeah, man. I just wanted to drop something quick for y'all, man. I just wanted to give you show y'all a little love. So I hopped on here, got it done. Really want to talk about the college football playoff. Like I said, I agree with the 4 teams, but I just still feel so bad for Florida State. I feel bad for the players. I'm not worried about the fan base and all that, just the players, man. Like you had an undefeated season and that got taken away from you. So and if they beat Georgia, it's gonna be a whole uproar. Like it's gonna be crazy. Um, and yeah, man, this Heisman class thing was just so interesting to me, man. Like I love to talk about like older players and what they were able to do in college because like a lot of times it's hard for people to separate college from the league, man. So I just say, man, I thank you, man. I appreciate y'all, man. Y'all like, comment, subscribe. Please comment, man. Y'all let me know what y'all think about the Heisman class. Y'all please let me know about college football playoff. You know what I'm saying? Y'all just let me know because I know it's been a lot, and I want to talk about it with some other people, man. So y'all let me know that. I hope everybody have a blessed day, man. I appreciate everybody, man, and I'm gone. We out.